down and you launch the start menu, but the start menu is now a tile-based widget menu like it is on phone 7. Any full, and this is really funny, you go into the start menu, and we did this. We launched IE, because, obviously Windows users want to use IE because they want to use Microsoft. So we launched IE, and from the start menu, you launch a full-screen Windows 8, Slatey version of IE. If you launch anything like a traditional program like FileZilla, Firefox, any legacy application that isn't a full-screen application, which pretty much every Windows user is going to have at least one of, it knocks you back to the Windows 7 type UI, something they call desktop mode. And down there on the bottom, it looks just like Windows 7, except you don't have a start menu bottom, and you have an IE icon and other things. And if you click that IE, you don't switch back to the IE you opened on the other side. You open a windowed version of IE that can't see any of the tabs or anything from the other IE. Basically, you have a virtualized OS within an OS, and the two do not in any way, shape, or form talk to each other.
Well, if people are listening to this and wondering how Rusty's so knowledgeable, I believe he's downloaded the public beta. Before we came on the show, he kind of gave me the link, and I'm going to be having a look at it with great interest of the public beta the public alpha. Is it alpha or beta, Rusty?
It's a beta.
Beta. Well, but by Microsoft's definition, it's a bit different. And, so you have to...
Well, I'll be having a look at it as well, because Rusty's kindly furnished me with the link. So
basically, it's a preview build. The problem I see with this, though, behavior that's indicative of the end user. They're just going to start clicking things. And why when you switch from one mode to the other, it kind of suspends the other mode, so it's not using CPU resources. Everything is still active. It's still using memory. And I'm honestly seeing the average end user, without meaning to, open 20 to 50 applications that bog their machine down and slow it down. And they go, where is all this stuff? How do I close it? What is it? They won't know. They'll go, where did that thing I had go?
They don't even have a system monitor, as far as I know. In Windows, it was never part of the default package. Unless they've changed that, they very much hide your utility of things like the memory. And, look at Linux. Even a KDE desktop that's supposed to be very user-friendly, it's got loads of monitors for network, for CPUs, for all kinds of stuff. With Windows, it's really hard to know. You're pretty oblivious to how much of the swap you're using, or if you're even close to going into the swap, which obviously...
Well, no, it's like I could not even find how to access the advanced utilities via how you normally browse to them. Fortunately, some of the keyboard shortcuts work, but they've also changed some of them. You cannot use the same keyboard shortcut you've always used to launch the Task Manager. You have to go Control-Alt-Delete, click Task Manager now, so...
Well, Rusty, because both myself and Roy at some point have been called by certain dubious individuals Microsoft haters, I'll go over to you and say, in 4 or more words, tell me what your first impressions of Windows 8 were.
A midway step transitioning into something else.
It's very diplomatic. Right. Well, next on our list of topics, I believe, if we're sticking to the same pattern, we're going to be talking about Red Hat. Roy, is that one of yours?
Well, I'm trying to look at the... one of the things I was planning to do first is actually go into a small break while we're thinking about the next few topics. So the first thing we have to go through is this, I think it's called Lagrimas, vodka, and it's by Sylvia Patricia.
Já derramei muitas lágrimas, umas no copo, outras no travesseiro. Já fiz promessas na África, fui ao bom fim de joelhos, declarei guerra sem armas. Até pintei meu corpo inteiro, dei de guerreiro na praça. Fui ao inferno em janeiro. Se ela quiser me telefonar, não vou estar, não quero mais. Se ela disser que vai melhorar, vê jeito pra nós, eu vou correndo pra Bósnia. Só não vou ficar, não quero mais. Já ingeri tanta vodka que afogou nossos nós. Podem pensar que eu me vingo, podem dizer que é domingo, mas não vou ficar, não quero mais. E ela pode gritar que eu nem ligo e falar mal de mim pros meus amigos, eu só quero é paz. Quiser me telefonar, não vou estar, não quero mais. Se ela disser que vai melhorar, que ainda vê jeito pra nós, podem pensar que eu me vingo, podem dizer que é domingo, mas não vou ficar, não quero mais. E ela pode gritar que eu nem ligo e falar mal de mim pros meus amigos, eu só quero é paz. E ela pode gritar que eu nem ligo e falar mal de mim pros meus amigos, eu só quero é paz. Só quero é paz. Eu só quero.
Right, thanks for staying with us, and I hope you were as impressed as I was with Roy's pronunciation there. So now we're going to be talking about Red Hat. So Roy, I think I said before, this was one of yours, so back over to you.
Well, this is really new things. I don't really know if we managed to encode it by night. Actually, a really side story here. One of the people in IRC and one of the listeners of the show, he was really advocating the idea we should also make a SPEX version, SPEX version of the show. And that's a codec that's a free software codec that's optimized for voice, and it's supposed to make it smaller and make it, better quality for a smaller size. And already we have 3 versions of the show. We have the low quality MP3 version, the normal MP3 version, and the OGG version, which we also put as the default one embedded in HTML. And then we have the WebM version, YouTube, and so on. So anyway, the point I was trying to make, though, is that when we were talking about the encoding times of the show, it's something like 5 hours. So I don't really think we managed to release the show on the very same day that we record. So it probably will come out tomorrow. But today, if you look at the news, there is loads about Red Hat. Any website about Linux is going to speak about Red Hat. You probably will hear it on Friday or later than Friday. And it's pretty amazing news. I was surprisingly contacted by PR agents of Red Hat, and I generally don't like PR agents. I don't want to be contacted by them, but they have very impressive. Seriously, yeah, it feels dirty. I had confronted.
You have to take a shower afterwards.
I spoke to him on the phone for over an hour with one of the PR agents of IBM, just basically telling him off because he was trying to pressure me to post his kind of BS story of IBM and their spin and stuff by email, and I just found out he was doing it by massively posting loads of people, and I got him to admit that he was doing that, and he was just pretending to care about my blog. He didn't even know what the site was about. So he felt very uncomfortable and very threatened because I just told him, this is not something I appreciate and stuff. And in any case, the Red Hat then told me about the results as soon as they came out. Some agents they hire something. I think it's quite silly. They don't have to do that. And I think the profits are up about 67%. The rest of the numbers like revenue and income and all that is about 25%. That's an increase for 1 year, and now it became a billion-dollar company. So you're talking about something like revenue, $1 billion a year, which I suppose is a milestone for them.